the government got to a realization that it is important to put together an institution that can try to drive innovation mindset, culture, practices, policy issues, and information as we think about the competitiveness of our country, our institutions, and individuals. I mean, you're experts in the travel industry, so I wouldn't claim in any way try to infuse knowledge about travel industry to anyone here. But probably it's a little bit kind of a provocation that we've got a few institutions and systems in place that can strengthen and help, jumpstart, energize, transform the sectors that you are in. Let's go to the shifting towards the future, which is the theme, shifting towards the future. So my question is, and I would like to see anybody raise up their hand, are you actually shifting towards the future in your own organization? And I am actually hoping to see some hand up. Are you shifting? Yes. But the question as to whether we should be shifting or not is not in debate. Whether things are changing or not is not in debate, and I think that's pretty clear. The question is then, what am I doing about that shift? So maybe this workshop should be, or a conference for that matter, is where everybody rises up and say, how am I shifting? The agency is set up to develop and manage the National Innovation System to catalyze more ideas to find their way to market. When you say a system, it means private sector engagement, academia, policy, government, funding, infrastructure, and your body is a system. And probably I have one of the hardest jobs as a CEO of a government, because if I say I'm a CEO of Kenha, which does highways, everybody goes like, I know. Highway from point A to point B, no problem. But if you're a CEO of an innovation agency and thinking about the body as a system, I have two main responsibilities. Is to figure out whether the components of your body are optimally functioning. Is your eye functioning optimally? And is your leg functioning optimally? And then the next part is the interaction between the eye and the leg effective? And now for all the parts of the body that we have, and all the interactions that can happen, then there's so much complexity in that regard. So in that national innovation system, whether it is the education system, whether your son and daughter is going through a program that will make them a better innovator or a problem solver in the future or creative thinker, that's my problem. Whether the Vice Chancellor of the University of Embu is introducing design thinking, user-centered design, is thinking through problem-based learning or venture-based master's programs, that's my problem. And whether we have the startup bill in place to create the right incentives for startups, for investors, for founders, and so forth, that's my problem. Whether the industry is evolving appropriately for the times, that's my problem. Whether we've got incubation hubs in the country for ideas to be tested and validated, that's my problem. Whether the angel investor in Kenya is incentivized to actually put resources in a startup or an innovation as opposed to buying some land somewhere, and shift that resource into investing in a startup, or the solution that Mr. Mandip has, is my problem. So there is a complexity of innovation. And innovation is a system, is an ecosystem. And you've got to have all these players engaged, and whether there's a good pipeline of new ideas for the future, and whether we are bold enough as a country to think about where we will be 10, 15 years down the road, or 100 years for that matter. That's what we do. From a strategic priority perspective, we've got two priorities. We've two pillars that we've put in place. One is around commercialization systems. For every single idea that you have, does it have potential for commercialization? And if so, do you have the system and the environment that then will make commercial value out of these ideas? Think about the research outputs in our universities, in our research centers. If I had to list them, there are very many. There are those who are solving something for your sector. There's a young person somewhere in Mombasa who is working in a hub somewhere and is trying to create some solution for your own sector. That's my interest. Commercialization systems, whether it's policies, whether it's funding, whether it's infrastructure, whether it is mindset, culture, skills, incentives, and so on and so forth. Then the second pillar is around the startup ecosystem. How much we are able to attract globally. Kenya currently now is leading in Africa in attracting foreign direct investment to startup ecosystem. But how do we enhance the competitiveness of the startup ecosystem in Kenya for global engagement? That's my job pretty much day to day. But all said and done, we've got a very simple definition of innovation. For us, innovation is change that adds value. So I have a question for you. Are you an innovator? And if so, please raise up your hand. Take home. All of us are innovators. If you can create change that will add value. And if you went to a physics or a math class, you draw a graph and you say horizontally is change. So from point A, whatever that may be, to point B, whatever that may be, vertically is value. So if you can arrange this room in a way that makes it more convenient and effective for people to move around, you're creating value, and that's innovation, because there's a change and value has been created. Or you might say, I'm going to cook and my children will like my food some more. That means some new value is created and there is a change in the way you do the thing. So each of us is an innovator. And so the emerging technologies, in my view, in the context of innovation and the space that I see for innovation in your sector is in two fronts. One is in enhancing personalized customer service and improving customer satisfaction. I can leverage technology and introduce and create new value that will enhance personalized customer services or improve customer satisfaction. That's one. The second that I see, where I see huge opportunity, and of course it's all happening, is in streamlining operations and cost cutting in our departments or organization. You know, one of the things that I'm doing a lot with the universities is catalyzing triple helix engagement, because in the value chain of innovations, as academic institutions do more the foundational basic research, applied research, prototyping, and then you start getting technology readiness, moving up the value chain. At the end of the day, private sector becomes the best in adopting and scaling innovations. And so if there's one thing that I can do for you in thinking about the future is, well, more transformation is coming, and if you've got ideas that you think government can support, we do have some funding framework around early stage ideas of lower technology readiness levels that we want to push up the value chain. Please let's engage. We're definitely going to experience more disruption, and as the chair said, those who can move into the future a lot faster will be better prepared, and there's nothing like luck. It is opportunity that meets a prepared mind. Thank you very much.